What's going on, guys? It's Greg here. Just wanted to do a video about map scales. It's important to know how map scales are set up on most topographical maps and street maps, so this way you can measure distances on the map. So I made this little guide for you guys. And basically, here's the most common types of map scales. It starts with the largest. There's basically two types. You have your metric, and then you have your American. So with the metric, they use centimeters, and American uses inches and miles. So with the metric one, you'll see something like in your map when you look at the legend, when you look at the map legend of a topographical map or like a street map, you'll see it'll say the scale. See, like this one, it says scale 1 to 63,360. And all that means, because this is a standard American one, that means 1 inch corresponds to 63,360 inches. So essentially 1 inch is going to represent 1 mile. So if you take a ruler and you wanted to measure a distance on this map, every inch is going to represent 1 mile. But going back to the common scales, here you have this represents 1 centimeter to 100,000 centimeters, 1 centimeter to 50,000 centimeters, and 1 centimeter to 25,000 centimeters. And then I wrote, basically what that means is 1 centimeter on a 1 to 100,000 map is going to correspond to 1 kilometer. A 1 to 50,000 map, it's going to be 2 centimeters to 1 kilometer. And then a 1 to 25,000 map is going to have 4 centimeters to 1 kilometer. So this way, if you're measuring on a topographical map or a street map, this way you're able to measure your distances. If you have to plot a course or you need to measure a distance on the map, you're going to be able to do that with the understanding how the map scale works. And then here you have the American one. It goes by inches, so 1 inch represents 63,360 inches, or 1 inch equals 1 mile. So these are the most common map scales you'll see. Obviously, like if you want like a larger picture, you're going to want to go with like a 1 to 100,000 or 1 to 200,000 or even bigger. If you want to have like a larger, if you're looking at like a large area, like let's say an entire region. If you're looking for like a more localized map, then you want to go into your 1 to 50,000 and your 1 to 25,000. Generally speaking, a 1 to 25,000 map is going to be very, very localized to like only just a few miles or a few kilometers. And the 1 to 50,000 map is more commonly used in the military. That's going to be a little bit bigger. And then your 1 to 100,000, and then and above that is going to be like your county or city maps that cover like a large area. So I'll just show you quickly some maps that I have. I showed you this one. This one uses the standard. It doesn't use the metric system. I showed you that one. Let's see if I could focus it for you. And so here it says 1 inch represents 1 mile. So if you don't recognize anything, like if you don't recognize the standard scales, the 1 to 100,000 or any type of multiple of 100,000, if you don't recognize it, if it's some weird number like this, then your best bet is just to consult the legend and see what the legend says. Otherwise you're just going to have to do your basic math. You're going to have to know if it's in inches or centimeters, and you're just going to have to find out how many inches. You're going to have to convert the inches to miles or your centimeters to kilometers. So it's just basic math. So there's one map right there. And then I'll show you a 1 to 25,000 map. And this is a big map. This is an 11 by 18 piece of paper that I printed it out on. And I'll show you how detailed it is. So this is an 11 by 18 piece of paper, and here we have this bar on the bottom here is 12 kilometers. So, and this is an 11 by 18. So this is much bigger than your standard 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And as you can see, it's only covering, you know, about 14 kilometers or so. And another thing too is, on what I like about a lot of the metric maps is they have squares. You see these squares here? These are your grids, and you could use these grids also to measure your distance. You're not going to have to use, you know, a centimeter or ruler or anything, because one of these grids is going to correspond to a kilometer. So like every square here is a kilometer. So let me see if I can just fold it up. So every square, this is 1 kilometer. Each cube here is a 1 kilometer distance, you know. So that'll tell you basically you're not going to have to pull out the ruler, you know. That'll give you a general measurement, you know. And as you can see, a 1 to 25,000 map, you know, if this was an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it would only cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 by, what is that, 7 by 5 kilometers, you know. So that's going to be like, you know, about 4 by 3 miles. So it's a very detailed map. A 1 by 25,000 map is going to be very detailed. It's only going to cover a few miles. So this is what you want if you're doing like a in-depth, if you want to see a specific area, then you're going to want that. And if you want a larger picture, then you're going to go to like the 1 to 100,000 or even bigger than that. And then your local maps, like I said, 1 to 25,000 and 1 to 50,000. These are going to be your local maps. This is what you're going to want for your local maps, local area. You know, if you're trying to narrow down a specific area, that's what you want to look at. And then this is going to be regional, you know, region. So it's going to have your region there. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.